Yes, sir. It is a Wednesday night. You know what time it is. It is Ball and All right here on Sports Connect. Of course, giving you everything that you ask for. That is music, culture, fashion, and of course, the beautiful game of basketball, particularly in the NBA and of course on the African continent as well, right? Lots coming up on the show today. But of course, we check out our trending topics for the week. We've got a special guest in the studio as well. Somebody I've been wanting on the show for a very long time to dissect and talk about what the Cape Town Tigers have been up to recently. And of course, to get her predictions for the rest of the NBA season, what is going to transpire. But let's stay with some basketball news for now. Coming out of LA, of course, is news from the Bryant family. They've been awarded, Vanessa, of course, and her daughters have been awarded nearly $30 million in a lawsuit, of course, after graphic images were released of that horrible plane crash that took the life of her husband and, of course, her daughter, Gianna. We hope the Bryant family is safe and they're taking care of themselves at this point in time. Now, speaking of somebody who's kind of a member of the Bryant family as well, Pau Gasol, number 16, has his jersey that's going to be retired, of course, at the Crypto Arena, which is previously the Staples Center. We wish him the best. And, of course, congratulations to the Spaniard who won 2 championships with Kobe Bryant himself in 2009, of course, against the Orlando Magic, and that big series in 2010 against the Boston Celtics, right? Koketso Kokome is in the studio. As I said earlier, as a very special guest, been wanting to get her here for the longest time. Koketso, thank you so much for finally making the time, yeah?
Thank you for having me, Boo.
The Bryant family, of course, being awarded nearly $30 million for that plane crash. And of course, Pau Gasol, who's kind of immersed himself and has always been part of the Bryant family. His jersey getting retired. How dope is that?
Let's start with how the family actually got close to 30 million. That's really ridiculous, but it was well deserved because as the public, we had no right seeing that plane crash. And, you know, for it to be circulating on the internet is so hurtful because can you imagine your family member, you know, passing away, public figure, having to see their photos of the plane crash, of how they died, actually circulating on the internet. So they had no right doing that without their permission. And, you know, it was well deserved for them to get that 30 million.
Absolutely. And Pau Gasol obviously getting his jersey retired.
Oh, yes.
Up there in the rafters, baby.
I think that's so... First of all, I actually didn't know that the Lakers, you know, really respected him like that, you know. I thought they only saw him as second to Kobe because, you know, he wouldn't have gotten a ring if it wasn't for Kobe. But for the Lakers, for the franchise to respect him like that is so amazing. You know, the fact that no one else is ever going to wear that jersey.
Right.
And it's like every night you go to Staples Center, you're going to see his jersey right there at the Raptors. That's amazing.
That is definitely amazing. And I'm speaking of someone else that is very much respected by the Lakers organization, of course, the league at large, LeBron James. Although it's not necessarily good news at this point in time, it looks like he is going to need surgery after all on that ankle after he was injured a couple of games prior. Of course, he's got the scoring record, the #1 overall scorer in the NBA in the history of this league. So congratulations to him instead of that. But obviously, we wish him well and we wish him a speedy recovery going forward, right? But let's take a quick break, go pay some bills. Koketso is in the building. We're talking Cape Town Tigers, what they've been up to, and of course, predictions for the rest of the NBA season. Stay tuned. And just like that, we are back. It is Ball and All right here on Sports Connect with myself, of course, Smooth Shongwe. Koketso Kokome is in the building as
and
well.
Kobe
NBA
Bryant.
analyst. Yeah, I mean...
Please, let's welcome Kobe.
Let's welcome you.
Oh, Okay.
Kobe Spirit welcomes you to the game.
Oh my goodness, I like that. Thanks, Kobe. Thanks, Boo.
You are mambarized. I think I'm coming up with a new term. She is mambarized right here on the Ball and All studio. But Koketso's here. Thank you so much once again for making the time, right? So yesterday, something fun happened, right? The Cape Town Tigers unveiled a new player who just arrived in town. Of course, Zaire Wade, the son, rather, of D. Wade, the former NBA player, and of course, doing his thing as a basketball player, coming up in his own right and making a name for himself, Koketso, in that way, right? What do you think this addition is going to do for the Tigers, especially from a roster perspective going forward?
I thought the Tigers were quite complete, actually. You know, I'm looking at the BAL qualifiers that they had, and they, you know, managed to win the whole qualifiers. They managed to become the first in the conference.
Yeah.
So the addition of Zaire Wade, I was like, okay, that's very interesting. Why would you add Zaire Wade, right? But now I'm looking at it at a PR perspective. He, you know, his name actually holds so much weight.
Yeah.
You know, he brings so much eyes to the league, to the team as well. But in terms of team morale, I'm not quite sure because, you know, I can imagine myself in that team, you know, being part of the team. I've never had an unveiling. Now, Zaire Wade comes, you know, he's like the youngest player now in the Cape Town Tigers, and he gets an unveiling.
Yeah.
You know, is it because of his skills or who he is? You know what I'm saying?
I get you.
Yeah, so the PR side looks very well, but in terms of team morale, where the team was doing really well, the point guard that they had was Dude Dang. He's from the NBA Academy. He was doing exceptionally well for the BA qualifiers and the friendly that they had with Pedro Dralwanda.
Yeah.
But now, with Zaire Wade coming, he's a point guard who's starting now, right? Again, he had an unveiling. He's seen as, you know, that player to watch. So, again, like with the cameras, with everyone watching the Cape Town Tigers, who's the coach going to start? Are you starting Zaire Wade because of who he is, or Dude Dang because he deserves it and he's been with the team? And in terms of like team chemistry, he works with the team better.
Of course.
100%.
I mean, it's very interesting that you say that because you think about Zaire Wade, especially from a branding perspective, right? In the first season of the BAL, we saw J. Cole coming through and joining one of the teams, and now Zaire Wade. I'm inclined to think sometimes that it might be a brand exercise, but also we know what Zaire Wade brings to the table in terms of being in the G League, being in the BAL combined in Paris and all that. So I think with all of that said, Koketso, he is a legit player who can add something legit to the Tigers, of course.
I think so, right? I'm not diminishing his skills. I mean, being the son of Dwayne Wade, you definitely got some personal insight in how to play the game. So and he played in the G League as well, right? G League is definitely competitive. It's not NBA level, but it's definitely competitive. And if you were to compare G League to the African context, he's a solid player, right? In the BAL Combine as well, he did well. That's why the Tigers actually acquired him. But I think for me, my concern is team chemistry.
Sure.
Right, the team was doing well last year. Last year in the BAL season, they didn't do that well. They lost in the quarterfinals, if I'm not sure. And then after that, they actually created a core, right, with your Evans Ganapamo, your Lebisa Slepe, and you know, the qualifiers with Pedro Delwanda where they did well. They also had a friendly with NBA Academy.
Yeah.
The team was starting to gel well together. They're starting to know each other better, you know. They also added Mike Benage,
sure,
who was also, you know, he was added at like close to the BAL qualifiers, and he did well in terms of the team chemistry, but it took some time, right? So after the BAL qualifiers, the team thought, okay, this is the team to get us to the finals of the BAL.
Yeah.
And now the addition of Zaire Wade, they only have like 50 days to go to, you know, to actually, you know, go to the BAL.
To basically get him ready as a starter.
100%.
Yeah.
So now, and don't get me wrong, I think skill-wise he is a starter, but chemistry-wise, is that what's good for the team?
I get you. Well, let me tell you something. We were in Sandton City yesterday. Koketso and I were in the building. Let's show you what actually went down. Check this out. Yes, sir. As I said, I have said this before. The B-Ball and All show is not just about hoops, but it is about lifestyle, it's about culture, it is about everything in between. Right now, we are in Sandton City, of course, at Shesha, one of our second homes, a place that embraces culture and everything else beyond basketball, as we do around here at Sports Connect. And I'm sitting next to a guy who embraces culture as well and everything in between. Zaire Wade has made the trip all the way from the States to here. Of course, you may know him as Dwayne Wade's son, but he's a hooper in his own right. Zaire, are you ready for this country, my guy? South Africa's a beautiful place, right?
Yeah, it is, man. And I'm ready. I've been here, well, I've only been here a few hours, but even so far, just seeing it is beautiful. Everybody's so nice because it's so different back in America. People a little different, but everybody's so nice here, so it's definitely different.
I mean, I'm still waiting for that Way of Wade swag, but we're not there right now. Look, man, a lot of the
Wait, swag.
What you mean? You're rocking it right now.
Oh, you need some of this?
I need some of this.
You talking to the plug? I got you.
You heard it from him, right? I'm not making this up. He said he was going to hook me up with the Way of Wade. But, man, let's talk a little bit of hoops and why you're actually here. Cape Town Tigers, they've welcomed you. You're not going to play for them. You're a point guard. You're a past first point guard. You said earlier on when you're talking offline that you want to distribute the basketball. What is the biggest thing that you want to achieve while you're here with this team?
Biggest thing is winning the championship. That's been on everybody's mind. So, I mean, that's the number one priority, number one goal on the court. But as far as me being, that point guard, I think that's just my first nature, I've been doing that since I was in fourth grade, throwing behind the back passes, like passing to people and they dropping it out their hands. And just like, I've always been the guy that just loves the excitement of seeing my teammates do well. So that's what I'm looking forward to.
We sit at a certain level that we play in the BAL and we represent the country, and a lot that we do behind the scenes falls by the wayside, but the basketball level all around, from the kids on up to the referees, to the coachings, everything is being raised. So, we're not just here to do that. So I'll just like to let the fans know that the basketball level since we started in South Africa has gotten better.
Well, there you have it. We were out there, we were doing our thing, and of course, I don't know if you heard what Zaire said. You might not have heard it, but he said he's going to hook me up with the Way of Wade merchandise. I'm waiting for that, by the way. Let's take a quick break, man. When we come back, more NBA action with Koketso. And of course, I want to get something very important from her. Her predictions for the rest of the NBA season and who's going to win the championship. Stay tuned. Yes, it is still B-Ball and all, of course, giving you the lowdown on all your NBA action, all your trending topics, and of course, Koketso Kgokgome is in the building, Spook Shongwe. It is lit, it is fire right here in the studio. Now, we're going to talk about something a little bit more on the serious side. Memphis Grizzlies star Ja Morant was seen flashing a gun on IG Live just this past weekend. And of course, he has since been suspended for 2 games or possibly more. depending on the NBA investigation. Now, a lot of people are asking, why, Ja? Why would you actually do that? And I want to ask Koketso, since she's in the building, why, Koketso? Ja!
You know, it's very tough because the moment I read the news, right, I was trying to understand how he grew up, his childhood, and I found out that he grew up with two parents,
Sure.
Present, went to private school. So his community has always known that he has an immense talent in, playing basketball. So they protected that. So he's been protected since childhood. And for that, I don't understand why he would be involved in this lifestyle that he's in, being, you want to say something, sorry.
No. It as you're saying
Yes.
and as you're speaking, I'm just thinking about, this thing is not just about the gun. It is not a one-time situation and
Yes,
occurrence. There's been things that have happened where
100%.
his friends have been seen flashing a gun at a teenager, beating a teenager up apparently last summer, getting into a fight. His dad and Shannon Sharp got into it at the Lakers game. So there's been a lot of things that you are alluding to, Koketso, to say
100%.
there was a lead up going forward.
100%. Like even his friends had an altercation at the Indiana Pacers by the parking, with the security guards.
For sure.
And you're like, but what's going on, right? Everything is going well, but it's so tough for us so easy for us to criticize, right? Because we're just looking at it like, yo, dude, give me your contract and I'll be so...
Give me that 200 million.
You know what I'm saying? Give me your contract and I'll be so disciplined.
Yeah.
But one of the broadcasters in the US said that, because he's a former player, right? He said that he understands where Ja is at. And I think that was very important because we don't really have that perspective. And he was like, no, I really do understand. I grew up well, but then you get so much money, you feel like you're a celebrity, right? Once you get so much money, you have so much influence, and some things you don't really get punished for certain things.
Yeah.
You get away with certain things. So, and the crew that you hang around, there's people there now who really want to be around you because of who you are.
The freeloaders. I call them the freeloaders, man. You gotta get rid of the freeloaders.
Exactly, but he's still a child, right? He's still a child. He's growing up in our eyes, and in the public, in the media, So it's tough for him. I think what needs to happen, I liked his apology where he said he needs to work on himself. I think in doing that, he actually needs to see who he surrounds himself with.
Absolutely.
I think the only influence or the only way or the only, the only thing that I can point my finger at would be his crew. Because his dad is supportive, his family is supportive. Yes, they are, he's the breadwinner of his family, but I guess with his friends as well.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's very tough.
A lot of things haven't been said, especially as far as the dad is concerned. Look, I applaud T. Morant for supporting his son, bringing his son to the level that he is right now. But also, T. Morant, I think you need to chill, bruh. I know you look like Usher, you're Usher light. You're out here courtside with them shades and a drink. But dude, this is your son who signed over 200 million. He's got a Nike contract. He just got a new shoe deal with Nike as well. Calm down, okay? But let's move on. I want to talk a little bit, Koketso, about the Clippers as well, who are not doing their thing at the moment. I mean, in 8th place in the Western Conference, but they acquired Russell Westbrook at the trade deadline. And of course, it hasn't quite panned out the way that maybe many people would have expected. What do the Clippers need to do to get the best out of Russ, but also PG, Kawhi, and all those guys to start playing the right way?
I think we're looking at the wrong person. We're holding him, accountable for what? He just joined the team. He's trying to get an understanding of the team. He was playing Laker basketball. Now he's playing Clippers basketball. Everyone knows there's a difference in that.
But are the turnovers not the same? There seems to be a theme here, KK. Come on, talk to me.
But we're looking, guys, we can't just be looking. My thing is, yes, he joined the Clippers and nothing has changed, right? But what has Kawhi changed? What has Paul George changed? These are the leaders of the team.
Sure.
He just joined them. So guys, lead him, right? Yes, the turnovers are similar to what he was, producing at the Lakers. But it's so weird to me because I'm like, okay, but why as a leader, Kawhi, why aren't you showing up to the party?
Sure.
Right? So if Kawhi was showing up, if Kawhi was playing, then I'd be like, Russell, you know, the problem is you. Why aren't you producing? Why aren't you making the team better? So it's definitely not just Russell. Let's first look at Kawhi.
The leaders of the team.
100%. Like, they need to show up. I need to be like, okay, this team wants to win. These guys want to win, right? But Russell doesn't want to win. That's when I'll be like, okay, Russell's the problem. But now it's like the whole energy of the team. And they've always been so, they always had that low energy. You know?
It's kind of like they're relaxed. Like
100%,
it's all good. We win, we lose. It doesn't really matter. And I'm so surprised because we've got Ty Lue as a coach who's won a championship with Cleveland before, but he doesn't seem to quite get through to these guys as far as their production is concerned.
100%. But even with him, that championship,
Is it-
it's because that LeBron was such an influential factor in that.
Yes.
Because he hasn't proved anything beyond LeBron James.
And LeBron James has won a championship on the other side.
100%. So
Gotta think about that
you know,
too.
it's very, very shaky.
Yes.
You know, he's on thin ice. But I don't know. There's just something wrong with that franchise.
Yeah,
You know,
I get
no
you.
matter what they do, they just like nothing comes even with Doc Rivers. Nothing just comes together.
And they blamed Doc quite a lot for their demise in the playoffs a couple of years ago.
Yes,
Remember that?
100%. And it was the same core team. Kawhi Leonard, Paul George, again.
You know what I think? I think they shouldn't have gotten rid of Reggie Jackson, man. One of my favorite players in the playoffs. He's clutch. He is all that. But anyway, I want to move from one favorite player to the other before we close off the show. Kevin Durant is with the Suns right now. He's balling out. They have been on a tear since he got back into this team as far as the injury was concerned.
Yes.
What do you make of the Suns? Can they go all the way?
This is very
I want
personal.
to put you on the spot right now.
This is
Koketso
very
Kgomo,
personal for
okay?
me. This is very
As far
personal.
as I know you, by the way, for those who don't know, Koketso Kgomo was a big Brooklyn Nets fan. Kyrie Irving,
It's not was.
Kevin Durant. Oh, you still are.
So come on, that's how it works. You can't just change teams. I'm not a player.
So Mikal Bridges,
Yes.
Cam Johnson.
Yes.
You're still a net.
Joe Harris, Seth Curry.
I don't know about this, yo. Okay, so but when you look at the Suns, you look at them as presently constructed: Kevin Durant, Devin Booker, an aging Chris Paul, but still an effective Chris Paul to a large extent. How far can they go? Yeah. It's balling on, man.
Okay, let's just start with the addition of Kevin
KD.
Durant was perfect because they didn't lose their core. They kept Chris Paul, they kept Devin Booker, they kept DeAndre Ayton. So they kept their core and they added an elite shooter to that lineup, right? Yes, they lost like role players here and there, but
Yeah.
the core is still there and that's what you need, right?
Okay.
The only person in that team who knows how to win a championship is Kevin Durant. Yes. Yes.
He won it with Steph Curry, Draymond Green, and Klay Thompson.
100%, and I'm about to get that right. I'm actually about to touch on that.
Okay.
My only concern with the Suns is the fact that the only person is Kevin Durant, and when he won it, he wasn't leading. Who is the leader of the Suns? Who's leading them? Who do they look to?
Not CP3?
So CP3 had his opportunity,
Yeah.
and what happened? Was it 2 seasons ago? When they were in the finals, they made it, and then against the Bucks, he was nowhere to be seen.
Okay. All right.
You know what I'm saying? He had his
Fair.
opportunity. But even with Kevin Durant, he had the chance to lead with Brooklyn Nets. He didn't get us far. Us, yes, because I am a Brooklyn Nets fan. So the only concern is, it's just doubt, honestly, because I've never seen anyone from that team lead any team to a championship.
Sure.
That's only my concern. But they are so good right now. I think they are their own worst enemies.
Can they go all the way?
They have the potential and opportunity.
Okay, let me ask the question a different way because clearly Koketso doesn't want to answer the question, okay? I keep trying to... Koketso,
Yes.
Kgomo, who is winning the title this year?
Oh,
Very simple question, right?
yes. Okay. So finals, I don't see why not the Phoenix Suns
Okay.
against the Boston Celtics.
And who wins between the two?
I think it's safer to bet for the Boston Celtics because of their defense and how they've been performing right now.
Okay.
They made it to the finals last season. right? It was their first finals with the new guys, with the kids, right? And yes, they lost, but I think they lost in, this is going to be very contradictory, but like they lost in a good manner because they've learned from their loss and they still, playing at a high level right now.
So you have Boston going all the way
I have
this season.
You are trying to put words in my mouth.
No. I'm trying to. Hey, guys, can one of you please come to the studio and get an answer out of her? Because
Okay.
I'm trying.
Rather, yes. Okay. Boston Celtics.
Boston.
Yeah, that team looks like the only team. Yeah, they are the team to beat right now. So I would bet on them to win the championship this season.
Do you want to say the team one more time, just so that we
The
know?
Boston Celtics.
Yes.
I have the Boston Celtics to win the NBA season this season.
Finally, we've got an answer. The Boston Celtics, according to Kogezo Kagome, are going to win the NBA championship this year. Look, I put everybody on the spot who comes in here, right? And I put you guys on the spot as well on all our social media platform at Bibo_Sports Connect. And of course, I always want to know who's going to win it, what your take is on it, so that I can bring Kokezo back after the season to see if her predictions actually came true or not.
And if they are right?
If they are right, we'll try and get you a lovely gift.
Love it.
For
Love it.
December, maybe. We'll see. But that's all the time we have for today, man. Thank you so much for making the time. You're a
Thank you.
first-timer. You're a debutante today.
Yes. Thank you for having me, you and the spirit of Kobe Bryant.
Of course. And then you're going to come back later on so we can see
Oh, yeah.
what
When
actually
my
happened,
prediction
right?
was right, when I receive my gift, I'll definitely be back.
It seems like we're going to have to spend a lot of money out here on B-Ball and all. Thank you so much for joining us. Once again, it is a Wednesday night. Ball and all is where it's at right here on Sports Connect. Until next week, peace out.